Yo, what's going on, everybody? Just straight out of Boston here. Today I'm back for episode number 6 of my New York Mets Dynasty series here on Out of the Park Baseball 19. And today we continue our Cinderella of sorts playoff run here as we have moved on to the National League Championship Series after defeating the LA Dodgers in 4 games, the 112-win LA Dodgers in 4 games. It was a relatively, well, I'm not going to say decisive victory, but we handled them pretty well. It was a 4 game series, and we won game 4 pretty handily. It was 6-0. So anyway, we are moving on to take on the Chicago Cubs, who upset the Washington Nationals in the first round. So both 100-win teams in the NL falling in the division series. Of course, the Dodgers to us, and the 108-win Nationals falling to the Cubs in 5 games. Of course, that being a rematch of last year's division series. And now we get a rematch of the 2015 LCS between the Mets and Cubs. And on the other side of things, we've got Cleveland and New York taking on each other in the ALCS. So we'll take a look at this Cubs team real quick, and then we'll get right into it. No changes to the postseason roster, although we do get Yoenis Cespedes back. So we're going to have to make a decision about where we are going to want to play some guys. I would imagine Lagares probably going to take a seat. Our outfield defense will suffer, but hopefully the added bat of Cespedes will boost our offense enough to offset that and then some. So taking a look at their team, they were 5th in runs scored and 5th in runs against. So 92-win team, Pythagorean win-loss, 93 and 69. Pretty similar to how they were last year. So not the best, but a 91 team is still pretty good. Just not by any means an elite team. Taking a look at their pitching, looks like they've got some pretty solid starters here. They're 1, 2, 3 in particular, all with ERAs under 4. Quintana, looking like he had pretty nice peripherals there. John Lester, only 34 walks in 147 innings. And wow, he struck out a lot of guys too, so he had a pretty good year. It's a pretty high strikeout rate for John Lester. Kyle Hendricks, good year out of him as well, 3.11 ERA. And then Yu Darvish kind of struggles in his first year, especially with the home run ball. Looks like that was his biggest problem. 37 home runs, led the National League. So a bit of a struggle in his first year with the Chicago Cubs, not unlike the situation in real life. Their bullpen, we'll actually go to their pitching to see their bullpen. Justin Wilson, Carl Edwards. After that, nothing too spectacular. Steve Cishek, not bad, but he struggled with a 4.76 ERA. Dylan Maples with an ERA of 5.5. Brian Dwensing, who I wouldn't really trust too much in a playoff game, but he did have a 3.04 ERA at least. So their bullpen's not that great. Tyler Chatwood also moved to the bullpen. But yeah, nothing too spectacular beyond Wilson, and even Edwards didn't have the best year, although he does have pretty good ratings. 106 strikeouts in 59 innings, so he does strike out a lot of guys, and yeah, his peripherals were pretty good actually. So 1.4 WAR for a reliever is pretty good. And then we'll take a look at their lineup. Let's just go back to the home page. So they've got Hayward, who had a pretty good offensive year, OPS up over 800, and he was worth 5 wins. So bounce back year for him, not unlike what he's doing in real life. Rizzo with a spectacular year, 388 OBP, and the slugging right around 540. Ian Happ with a pretty solid year as well. And yeah, he's a very good defensive left fielder in this game. Chris Bryant only hit 235, but still a relatively productive offensive year. I think his OPS was right around 800. 4.5 wins, playing a solid defensive third base. Contreras, not a great year out of him. Probably would have looked for a little bit more if I was the Cubs than that slash line. Zobrist, also not a great year. Russell was solid, playing good defense up the middle. About 3 wins. And Albert Elmore rounding out that lineup. So that's a pretty solid lineup. Nothing too spectacular outside of maybe Anthony Rizzo. But they've got solid bats all around. Really no one who's dragging them down per se. Like, they don't have any Brevik Valeras or anything like that we saw in the Dodgers series. But anyway, also thought I saw this. J.A. Happ out for 9 months with a broken kneecap. It happened when he fell down inline skating. So if that was one of my guys, I would be pretty pissed. Not at him, but at the game. Anyway, so let's start this baby up. Like I said, no changes to the postseason roster. So game 1, Syndergaard could go on 3 days rest, I think. Actually, it'd be full rest for him, but he threw a lot of pitches. DeGrom would go on full rest. So I think we'll go DeGrom game 1 and then Syndergaard on game 2, just so that we can use them both at full strength. And they would both have an opportunity to pitch again in the series. The only person who wouldn't have an opportunity to pitch again in the series on full rest at least would be whoever starts game 4. So I think we'll just go DeGrom. The only thing that would make that kind of risky is if it came down to like a game 5 and we were facing elimination and we would have to go with DeGrom over Syndergaard. But even then, I mean, we still have a lot of faith in DeGrom. He's pitched pretty well in this postseason so far, 3.6 ERA. And he's going to be opposed by Kyle Hendricks here in game number 1. So the lineup, we've got Cespedes in left, Conforto in right, and Mookie Betts in center. So I think I'm good to go with that. I'm going to hit Rosario in the leadoff hole again over LeMahieu. But the addition of Cespedes does boost the middle of our lineup. We're going to hit him cleanup and move Travis d'Arnaud down to the 6th hole. And then we'll have Cabrera 7th and LeMahieu 8th. So the lineup is a lot deeper with Cespedes in there over Lagares, although Lagares did play very well in the division series. And mainly having Cespedes back just gives us that extra outfielder, gives us a little bit more positional flexibility, especially if we want to do something like a double switch, or, you know, we could go to Lagares late in game if it came down to, you know, it's a one-run game and maybe we wanted to get a little bit better defense out there. But defense is definitely one of the Cubs' strong suits, both in real life and in this game. Look at their outfield, all 70 grade, and Hayward is a 75, and then their infield defense is all above 60. So battle of some good defenses here. But anyway, here we go. Kyle Hendricks starting out game number 1 for the Cubs. And DeGrom already running into a little bit of trouble here. And that's going to be a wild pitch. So runners on 2nd and 3rd for Ian Happ. He's got a 3-0 count. And he walks ball 4. So DeGrom with some early trouble here. Chris Bryant at the dish, full count. And that is a called strike 3. So one man down now. Contreras up. Double play ball could get him out of the inning. That ball is going to be hit to right. Betts coming on. Should be deep enough to get the run home. And the runner is not tagging. Surprisingly, Hayward not trying to score there. Only 45 speed. Conforto has a decent arm. But I'm pretty surprised Hayward didn't try that there. Now 2 down for Ben Zobrist. That's a ground ball. And DeGrom is going to get out of the bases loaded jam. So pretty surprising to see the Cubs not score there. I definitely thought, especially on that fly ball, that they would score. But anyway, on to the top of the 2nd. Nothing going there for us. DeGrom through the 2nd unscathed. Now on to the 3rd inning. Still nothing going. Cespedes leading things off for us. No runs across. Now DeGrom's got 5, 6, 7 due up. And he appears to have settled in pretty nicely. Hendricks pitching a good game as well, though. 5 Ks to 1 walk and only 2 hits. And he's got 7, 8, 9 coming up. Now it's Almora leading things off for the Cubs on the bottom half of the 5th. But DeGrom's still pitching pretty well. He's only at 70 pitches. Another half inning here. And we do get one across. It came on a bunch of singles. It looks like Rosario singled, then Betts singled, and then a single for Conforto, and then a sacrifice fly from Yoenis Cespedes. So a little bit of small ball there of sorts. DeGrom, 4 Ks, 1 walk, 4 hits so far. A bunch of those came in the 1st inning, though. So middle of the lineup here for the 3rd time through. We're going to be careful. And yep, first 2 guys reach. So we're going to get someone up in the pen. A couple of walks, or at least 1 walk and 1 hit, it looked like. We'll get Betances up and Blevins. The next batter is Contreras. Full count to him. That ball hit a ton to deep left field and gone. A 3-run home run for Wilson Contreras. And the Cubs finally getting to DeGrom here in the 6th inning, as that is a 3-run home run that puts the Cubs on top 3-1. Zobrist is the next man up. He grounds out. We can just go to runners in scoring position again. Another run across, a solo home run for Addison Russell that time. I do want to get DeGrom through this inning, though, if I can, because his spot leads off the next inning. And if I can avoid double switching, I would like to. That ball's hit well to right, but I think it's going to be playable for Conforto. And he does get to it. I guess actually Betts, it said Betts caught that, but whatever. All right, we'll give one more batter. This is DeGrom's last batter no matter what, and that's going to be a pop-out. It looks like 2 Rosario, but 4 runs across for the Cubs. They take a 4-1 lead. So not good stuff right there from DeGrom. So top of the next inning, we're going to go to Blevins, but I'm going to sit him because his spot's going to come up in the lineup, so I don't want to put him in just yet, but I also don't want him to tire out there. Warming up too much. Cabrera strikes out. Now LeMahieu. He hits this one to right, but Hayward is going to get there. 2 down. Let's get Blevins back up, and we're going to pinch hit with Todd Frazier. Maybe hope he can run into one here. But he is behind in the count 1 and 2, and he strikes out. So that is 3 off 3 now for the Mets. Hendricks, I think, was still in the game. No, he had just come out, so I don't know who was throwing there. Looks like it was Steve Cishek. But anyway, we're going to go to Blevins. Let's see. He gets through that inning unscathed. 1, 2, 3. Next, we'll go to... I think we'll just go to Betances next, even though we're down in the game. See if the Mets can get a little rally going here. Looks like a 1-out double for Mookie Betts. That's going to bring up Conforto. He is dealing with the lefty Justin Wilson. They already went to their closer here, but he strikes out. Now Cespedes' turn. 2-2 count, and he strikes out on the fastball. So Wilson works around the Mookie Betts double and sends this game to the bottom of the 8th with the Cubs still ahead 4-1. We're going to put Betances in. Go to runners in scoring position. Gets through that inning. Now we'll just go batter by batter. So Edwards on the mound. They're going to bring in Carl Edwards Jr. to try and close this one out. He's got Dominic Smith up, and he walks Smith. So the leadoff man aboard for the Mets. Now Travis d'Arnaud's turn. He's got to try and find a way aboard. Flying one to left. Ian Happ barely having to move there. And that is going to be out number 1. So the next man up is Asdrubal Cabrera. He's got a full count. And he takes ball 4. So that will bring the tying run to the dish in the form of DJ LeMahieu. LeMahieu with a full count. They bring on Dylan Maples. So already kind of running through their bullpen here. And that is going to be ball 4. So Maples, who walked over a batter an inning this year, gives up a walk that is going to bring the go-ahead run to the plate. And it is going to be in the form of Wilmer Flores. As Betances will be pinch hit for, I'm going to get Familia up just in case something happens here. And with the bases loaded, it is Flores dealing with a full count. He strikes out swinging 2 down. Ahmed Rosario is our last chance. That ball gets away from the catcher. Runner coming home. He will be safe. Looks like Contreras maybe had a play there at the plate, but did not make the throw in time. So now the tying run into scoring position for Rosario. And I'm going to go... Let's see. Can Betts play second base in this game? Because if so, I'm going to pinch run with Lagares, I think. He can play second base. Not very well. But it's not like LeMahieu's that great of a second baseman either. Lagares, what is his speed? He's got 55 speed and 70 base running. So I'm going to pinch run him for LeMahieu here. Just so that we can have a better shot of scoring on a base hit. Which is kind of all that Rosario has hit so far this postseason, but he strikes on anyway. Does not matter. So that is the ball game. The Cubs win it 4-2. They take game 1. Pretty entertaining game there. So on to game number 2. Here we can throw Syndergaard. And again, if we walk away from this these 2 games in Chicago with a split, I think you'd have to be pretty satisfied. So we can still win tonight and feel pretty good going back to New York. So Betts had a better game that time around. He seems to be heating back up a little bit. Hit Conforto 3rd, Dominic Smith 5th, and d'Arnaud 7th. And I think I'm gonna keep leaving the pitcher in the 9 hole. I really don't. I know the argument both ways for batting the pitcher 8th versus batting him 9th, and I really don't know what's better. I don't really have a strong opinion on it, so I'm just gonna leave it as is. So here we go, game number 2. Yu Darvish getting the start for the Cubs. This is showing the effects of having to go 5 games in the last series. They were not really able to line up their pitching. So, ideally Darvish should be starting game 4 and not having to would not have to throw again this series, but instead he would be the game 2 starter and potentially the game 6 starter. So a little bit of a benefit for us, the fact that they had to go 5 games in the division series. But here we go, game number 2, and it looks like we got a run there in the top half of the first. Let's see, Rosario, no, it was Betts working his way on, and then Conforto walked, and Dominic Smith brought them home on an RBI single. So not a lot of extra base hits for us so far in this series. Syndergaard on the mound. Gave him the half inning there. He actually looks like he had to work through the first 5 guys in the lineup there, but got through it nonetheless. On to the top of the second, we get another run there. This one coming on a RBI single from Ahmed Rosario that scored Travis d'Arnaud, it looks like. So 2-0 now. Syndergaard settling in, hopefully. Make it 5-0. So we are jumping all over you, Darvish, this game. Looks like there was a double from d'Arnaud, a 2-run home run from Cespedes, and then an RBI single from DJ LeMahieu that scored d'Arnaud. So Cespedes heating up. That is good to see. And hopefully Syndergaard, hopefully he can give us some solid work here. I'm going to start going half innings because it's not really that close of a game. Well, it is relatively close, but we can afford to go half innings for now. And make it 7-1, so we are really pounding Darvish today. And I'm just going to rely on Syndergaard to work through whatever jams he gets into with a 6-run lead. I don't really have to be quite so careful about monitoring every run that the Cubs potentially score. But he is at 84 pitches, so now we'll go to runners in scoring position. Got through that. And with a 6-run lead, yeah, he's at 101 pitches, so I'm going to take him out. And I'm actually going to bring in Zach Wheeler, and we'll see if his spot in the lineup comes up. All right, it looks like unless we get a double play ball, it is going to come up. But if it didn't, I would probably consider double switching someone into the game for either LeMahieu or maybe Cabrera, and then putting Wheeler in. But I think that's going to be unnecessary unless LeMahieu grounds into a double play with this next at-bat, which he is prone to do. And if he does, I'm definitely double switching his ass out of the game. But that is going to be a 2-run bomb to left field. 9-1 Mets. And the route is on. DJ LeMahieu, when he's hitting home runs, you know that it is a good sign for us. We're going to give Gavin Cecchini an at-bat here. And we're just going to go half inning. No need to go batter by batter after that. I only cared until that spot in the lineup came up. So let's see what Wheeler can do. Gets through 1 inning. He's only through 15 pitches there. Gave up 1 run there. So we're going to take him out. I don't want to push him too much. And for the 9th, we'll go with Rame, another guy who I don't think has thrown yet in this postseason. And we're going to pinch it for Wheeler with, we'll go with Flores. I didn't see if Cecchini got a hit there or not. I'll check the box score at the end of the game. That was a 1-2-3 inning. Now Rame on. And he gets through it. So a Game 2 victory pretty decisively, 9-2. And Cecchini, he did get a hit. So good for him. All right, but there you see it. Syndergaard with a good start. And we really hit Darvish pretty well that game. Got him for 6 runs, 5 earned. Looks like their defense, a couple unearned runs here that came across. 1 from Darvish, 1 from Dwensing. And then, of course, the 2-run home run off of Mills by DJ LeMahieu was the cherry on top. So we send the series back to New York, tied at 1. And we are going to have, I think we're going to go with Matt Harvey in Game 3. I know Matt's pitched really well in his lone start in the division series, but Harvey was also relatively effective, and he was the better pitcher all year long. So, although it is a tough decision, and Contreras is hurt. Oh no, that's Justin Wilson. I thought it was Contreras. That's still a big loss for them, though. So they're already thin bullpen, getting even thinner here as he goes down with a fractured elbow. Ouch, how did that happen? Not sure. But anyway, series shifts back to New York, and in an ideal world, it wouldn't be going back to Chicago because hopefully we can win these next 3 games. I'm not predicting that by any means, but anyway, so Harvey or Matz. Harvey does have the little hot emoji, so I think I'm going to go with him. He went 5 innings, 1 run in the game, 1 start in the division series. Looks like Cespedes is battling a bruised thumb. Influences his hitting and his throwing, but he did have the big home run in the last game. So I think I'm going to stick with him again. And, yeah, stick with him over Lagares. So, do the usual lineup. Smith hitting 5th. Smith continuing to hit pretty well in this postseason. Darno kind of struggling a little bit. LeMahieu actually heating up a little bit as of late. And I'm gonna swap Rosario and LeMahieu because it looks like LeMahieu is heating back up and Rosario sort of coming back to earth these last couple of games. And Harvey getting the call in game number 3 as he's going to be taking on Jose Quintana, probably the ace of their staff, him or Lester. I think it would have to be Quintana though. He had a very, very solid year. Pretty classic Jose Quintana season right here with a 3.31 ERA. Low strikeout numbers, but also low walks and pretty decent home run totals. So anyway, here we go. Game number 3. Matt Harvey on the mound, and hopefully he can continue the success that he has been having as of late, as he has not had any trouble here through the first 3 innings, and we get 1 run there in the bottom of the 3rd. Came on an RBI single from Yoenis Cespedes, so he continues to stay hot. And Harvey, no hits so far, does have the 1 walk, but looks like he worked around it with a double play ball or something because he's facing the minimum so far. Here we go now, a double for Hayward, or perhaps a single and a stolen base, because the count is 2-2 to Rizzo now. He strikes out swinging. 1 man down for Ian Happ, who is the next batter. Got 1 strike on him here, hits it to the right side. Nice play by LeMahieu. He throws it on to first in time for out number 2. Now Chris Bryant with 2 down. Hits this one in front of the plate right there. Nice play by Darno, and that retires the side. So the run does not come across. Remains 1-0 New York. Harvey continuing to look pretty good here through 4 innings. Now dealing with 5, 6, 7, and he gets through that unscathed. Now Harvey leading off this next inning. See how many pitches he's at. I think, yeah, only 64 pitches. I'm definitely going to keep him in the game. So nothing going there for us. Dealing with 8, 9, 1 here. We'll do runners in scoring position. And wow, Harvey really pitching well. 74 pitches, 6 scoreless innings, 5 Ks so far. It's going to be hard not to re-sign him if he keeps pitching like this. I know I shouldn't be too swayed by a few postseason starts, but he's been pitching well all year, and he's doing it when it really counts. So this is pretty cool to see. But anyway, on to the bottom of the 6th. No insurance there for us. So now middle of the lineup, 3rd time through. I think we're going to start going batter by batter. They've got a slew of righties coming up, so I'm going to get Dylan Betances warming. And we will see how Harvey does facing these guys for the 3rd time. It's Rizzo up. He flies one to shallow right. It is Conforto coming on. He makes the play. That is out number 1. Now Ian Happ behind in the count 1-2. He strikes out on the check swing. So that is out number 2. Now Chris Bryant with a 1-1 count. He hits one to left. Cespedes coming on. It's going to drop in front of him. So a 2-out single for Chris Bryant. Harvey at 86 pitches. Contreras with 2 men down. He strikes out swinging. 7 strikeouts for Matt Harvey. And he has thrown 7 scoreless innings here. Really throwing the ball well. Now his spot is due up in the lineup. He's at 92 pitches. He does have 70 stamina. So if he comes up with no one on and 2 outs, I think I'll leave him in the game. If there is a man on, I think I'll pinch hit for him. But we'll see what happens. That is out number 1. A fly out from Cabrera. Now the next man is Rosario. That is going to be a base hit. So 1 man on, 1 man out. Harvey spot due up in the lineup. Do we trust the bullpen enough to take him out? We took him out last time a little bit early and it paid off. So I think we're going to go with the same strategy. And I think I'm going to give Betances the 8th inning over Swarzak. I know Swarzak has pitched well all postseason. Did give up the he did have that little run in with the home run ball his last time out. But Betances, I don't think he's given up. Actually, yeah, he gave up 1 run in the Dodgers series, but I think I'm going to go with him. We'll get him and Blevins up. And I can actually sit Betances because he's still ready. But yeah, we're going to go with Wilmer Flores pinch hitting here. And he is facing, I don't know who he's facing, but that is down into right center field for a base hit. Rosario heading for 3rd. He's going to get in there easily. So 1st and 3rd with 1 man out for the next man up, and it's going to be LeMahieu. LeMahieu cannot afford a double play ball here. Hits one well to left. That ball is back and gone. A 3-run home run for DJ LeMahieu. And that gives us some much needed insurance as it makes it 4-0 Mets. And Quintana still in the game. We are starting to get to him. So now let's just go half inning. Ooh, we might have scored some more runs there. We got to put someone in the game. Whoops, I should have been paying closer attention. Matanzas is cold. All right, so we're going to give Blevins the inning then. I think we have more than a... Yeah, it's 5-0 now. So we're going to give Blevins the inning anyway. Let's get... I'm going to get Swarzak up, though. Because Blevins probably not going to be too effective facing a bunch of righties, but we will see. I probably could have just gone to runners in scoring position. He gets the strikeout there of Ben Zobrist. He's facing the bottom half of the lineup, and yeah, he got through that 1-2-3. So now that sends this game to the 9th, still on top 5-0. I'm gonna get AJ Ramos up. We're gonna pinch it with I'm gonna pinch it with Lagares and consider bringing him in, depending on where the batting order falls. Yeah, okay. So this is perfect, actually, because ideally I was going to bring him in for Cespedes. So we're going to put Betts in right, Conforto in left, and Ramos in, hold on. I don't want to mess this up. I do not want to sit him down. I'm putting him in for Blevins. Nope, see, that's going to put him in Lagares' spot. So, all right, I do have to put him here, and then move him to the pitcher spot. There we go. All right, so double switch time. We upgrade our defense a little bit. It's 8-0 now, so probably a little bit unnecessary, but I do it anyway. Man on second with 1 out, and that is going to be strike 3 on Andres Jimenez. 2 down for Ian Happ. That was not Jimenez. That was a different Jimenez. But there we go, out number 3. So that does it. The Mets win game 3. We take a 2-1 series lead. And a pretty good game all around there, 8-0. Harvey just absolutely dominating, 7 shutout innings, 2 hits, 7 Ks to 1 walk, and then scoreless innings from Jerry Blevins and AJ Ramos. So you gotta love the spot we're in right now. Up 2-1, 2 more games in Citi Field before we have to go back to Chicago. If we have to go back to Chicago, if we don't, that would mean we would have won this series 4-1. It's gonna be Mats going in game 4. And we are going to keep using the same lineup. I see no reasons to change it. Smith, then d'Arnaud, then Cabrera, and then Rosario. d'Arnaud still struggling. We could give Plawecki a chance. Defensively, they're pretty much even. But d'Arnaud did have the better year. And I think he does have, yeah, he does have the slightly better ratings. So we are going to keep d'Arnaud in the game, in the lineup, I mean. And Mats will be facing John Lester. So Lester is their guy who goes in game 4. He must have pitched game 5 of the Washington series. He only threw, wow, they really burned him for a third of it. Maybe he got hurt? I got to go back and look at that box score. Can I look at this box score? Okay, whatever. I'll have to do it later because that's really curious. He must have started the game and got hurt or something. I don't know, but either way, that definitely hurts them. So here we go, game number 4. Getting this thing started. Mats on the mound against Lester. Pair of southpaws battling in New York here tonight. First 2 guys reach against Mats, but Bryant strikes out swinging there. Now 1 down for Rizzo. Runners going. Throw down. Not in time. So it's Rizzo up. We're going to pitch around him, even though it's lefty on lefty. That is through the right side into right field for a base hit. 1 run scores. The other runner will be held at third. But the Cubs take a 1-0 lead here. Now Contreras is the next man up. He goes down swinging at the changeup. 2 men out for Addison Russell. 2-2 count to him. That ball hit to left. Looks like Cespedes should be able to get to this one, and he does for out number 3. So 1 run comes across for the Cubs there in the top of the first. Can we respond? We do. We even the game at 1 in the bottom of the first on An RBI double from Yoenis Cespedes. So Cespedes really starting to hit the ball well now, producing. He's got an RBI in his last RBIs in his last 4 games now. Not saying that that is obviously a predictive stat or anything like that. We all know the argument for RBIs. I think that's really not even a debate anymore. But it does mean that he's coming up in big spots, whether or not that's really means anything or that's just noise. The fact of the matter is he's driving in runs, and that is helping us win ball games. So anyway, here we go now. Bottom half of the lineup for the Cubs, and Matt's running into more trouble. It's Lester, probably laying down a bunt there. We do get the outs, but the runner moves up to third. Now Hayward is the next man. 0-2 count. He hits one to right. That is going to get down in front of Conforto there for an RBI base knock from Jason Hayward. Now Albert Almora up next. He flies one to center. That should be good for out number 2. And I realize I can just go till runners in scoring position. And it looks like he got the next man hap. So now Lester back on the mound here for the second. We do not answer back that time. Matt's continuing to run into some trouble here. So we're going to get someone up in the pen. I think it's going to be... Let's get Swarzak up. If we have to go to him, I think I can maybe get 2 innings out of him because he hasn't pitched in a little while. Contreras strikes out. 1 man down for Addison Russell. He's ahead in the count 3-1. That is ball 4. So the bases are loaded now for Ben Zobrist. He's got a full count. And that is ball 4. So back-to-back walks, and a run comes home. A couple of lefties do up. We'll let Matz face these next 2 guys at least. Lester goes down. Now it's Hayward, who singled, driving a run last time he was up. This could be his last batter of the game, and that is going to get 1 more run home. The Cubs really continuing to not be aggressive on the base paths, which is, I feel like, kind of anti-Cubs-like from the games that I've watched where they've played this year, but don't know that for sure. So, all right. We are going to put Swarzak in. We're going to put him in here, and we're going to move him to pitcher. And we're going to bring... we'll bring Todd Frazier into the game at third base, and he will lead off the next inning. So a little double switch there. Swarzak now with a 2-1 count to the next man up. It's Albert Almora. That's grounded to the second baseman. LeMahieu makes the play, gets us out of the inning, but 2 runs across for the Cubs there. They sent 8 to the plate that inning, and Matz is out of this ball game. So on to the bottom of the third. We do not answer back there. Swarzak only at 4 pitches. His spot is almost due up, though. Looks like we threatened that inning. So this is going to be Swarzak's last inning no matter what, and he gives up a run. So it's 5-1. Now we are going to we'll get Wheeler up since we're down a couple runs anyway. It's a little bit more of a low leverage situation, and we're going to pinch hit with Wilmer Flores. See if we can rally a little bit. Looks like we could not. So Wheeler into the game now. Still 5-1. And we got 1 back there in the 5th. So 5-2. Wheeler's got 1 more inning in him, hopefully gets through it. So a couple scoreless innings from Wheeler there. Good to see. His spot is coming up, though, so we're going to pinch hit with... we'll go with... this is tough. We're going to go with Cicchini. Got a hit last time up. Let's see if we can do it again. And we are going to get Carlos... we're going to get Rodon, and depending on how the inning goes, we're also going to get Betances up. Let's see. Oops. So we got a couple guys on, but nothing across. So we're going to go with Rodon here. Hopefully he can eat 2 innings or maybe just 1 if his spot comes up the next inning. Couple runs across there. Let's see how this inning goes for us. Depends on if his spot comes up in the lineup. If it doesn't, I think I'll just leave Rodon in the game. 2 down for Conforto. That is going to be a ground ball. Bryant making the play. And that is out number 3. So, only at 18 pitches. Wow, 3 more runs across for the Cubs there. So this game not wrapping up very nicely for us. And nothing going there. I know I could have pinch hit for him, but I didn't feel like going batter by batter in an 8-run game. just to see if Rodon's spot came up in the lineup. That's why I just did until runners in scoring position. Rame gets the ninth, gives up one more run, and that is the ball game. So the Cubs take game 4 pretty handily, and they even the series up at 2 games apiece. So yeah, I want to see this, the game that happened on October 10th. It must have been this game, because Smiley got the win here. And Lester, no? So maybe Lester did just throw in this game 5. Yeah, they brought him in for a third of an inning and burned him. So that's the thing about using starters in relief roles is even if they only throw like 10 pitches, you still got to wait 5 more days before they're fully rested, which is really ridiculous. I wish this game would adjust that. I don't know what what in the script or what rule that is, or I don't know, but it definitely is an issue because it sort of limits how you can deploy guys in the postseason. But anyway, not so much a big deal in the regular season, obviously, because you're very rarely going to be using starters out of the bullpen in those kind of situations anyway, unless the game goes late into extra innings. I think that's pretty much the only time I can think of where you would want to do that kind of thing. So, all right, keep the lineup as is. And Darno. All right, we are going to go. I'm going to give Plawecki a chance here. I'm going to give him a shot. Darno could be a nice bat to have off the bench anyway. Rosario really coming back to earth here this series. But all right, game number 5, rematch of the game 1 pitching matchup between Hendricks and DeGrom. And starting DeGrom over Syndergaard in game 1 turned out to be moot because games 5 and 6 are happening no matter what now. So they're both getting one more start in this series no matter what happens here tonight. So here we go, game number 5. And it is DeGrom versus Hendricks once again. And a 2-run home run for Wilson Contreras there. That puts the Cubs on top 2-0. As they take that lead into the 3rd, and a home run there from Jason Hayward, it looks like. That makes it 3-0 Cubs. So DeGrom getting hit around a little bit here tonight. And now after a Rizzo double, it's a walk to Ian Happ. So the starting pitching starting to come a little bit unraveled here for the Mets. Matt struggled last game, and DeGrom giving up his 4th run of the night there on an RBI base knock from Chris Bryant. So that makes it 4-0 Cubs. And we are going to have to get someone up here in the pen. And I think it's going to be Ramos. So let's see if DeGrom can work his way out of this. He is not pitching the ball very well. That is through the right side. Another runner coming home. Make it 5-0 Cubs. As things are unraveling here for Jacob DeGrom. How much longer do we stick with him is the question. This ball hit well to right. But I think it is going to be caught by Conforto, out number 2. Now the next man up is Addison Russell. That is ball 4, so DeGrom. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 6 hits, 5 earned runs. And I think I'm going to pull the plug on him. We're going to go to Ramos here. See if Ramos can get us out of this inning. As he is going to be facing Kyle Hendricks. Hendricks strikes out. No, he walked. Oh, my. Wow, 6-0 Cubs now. This is really not good. There we go. Strike 3 finally gets us out of the inning. But 6-0. Chicago in the lead now. I think they scored 4 that inning. So not looking good for us. Yeah, we have not had many big innings in this postseason so far. So not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. And we're going to get Wheeler up. Actually, we might only... We're going to get Wheeler up and a 1-inning reliever. We'll get Swarzak up. Although, if I use Swarzak, I burn him for game... Well, this is game 5. We have an off day before the next day anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right. See if anything happens there. Nope. So we're only looking for a 1-inning reliever, because the spot is going to come up in the lineup next inning. So we'll go Swarzak. Gets through that unscathed. Now Wheeler. And we'll pinch it with... we'll pinch it with Wilmer Flores. Half inning. 1, 2, 3. We are just getting dominated by whoever is... it's Hendricks. We're getting dominated by him right now. All right, Wheeler on. Hendricks, only 3 hits so far through 5 innings, and really no threats from us so far. Wheeler at 9 pitches. So 2 more scoreless innings from Wheeler. Good to see out of him. He's definitely going to be spent, though, after 30 more pitches tonight. We'll get Rame up. And the runner's in scoring position. All right, so Wheeler's spot on the lineup coming up here. We're going to go with Todd Frazier. Long ball here would get us back into this game. 3-2 count for him. He hits one into center. That is going to get down. And with the runners on the move, we will push across the 1 run pretty easily there. That makes it 1st and 3rd for DJ LeMay, who does have a couple home runs in this postseason. He is going to be facing the new pitcher, Mike Montgomery. That is through the left side for a base hit. Another run across there for the Mets. That makes it 6-2. On the RBI single from LeMahieu now, Mookie Betts up next. Still dealing with Montgomery. He takes ball 4, and that is going to bring the tying run to the plate. It is in the form of the lefty Michael Conforto. He is a long ball threat. 1-2 count, strike 3, swinging Montgomery, getting out of the jam there. And that might have been our one big chance. So we'll go with Rame. We should get Betances up, though, just in case something goes wrong here. All right, nothing. Sit him down. And we will go batter by batter. I think Betances will get the 9th here, unless we tie up the game, in which case I'll go to Familia. I probably should just pitch Familia anyway, quite frankly. So that's what I'm going to do. Go runners in scoring position. We do get a 1-out double from Dominic Smith there. Now Plawecki. He hits one well to right, but I think that's going to be playable for Hayward. And it is out number 2. Now Cabrera up next. 1 strike on him. He hits one well to right center. That's going to get down into the gap. And that is going to bring a run home. So make it 6-3 Cubs on the RBI double from Asdrubal Cabrera. And the next man up is going to be Ahmed Rosario with a 2-1 count. That ball is caught by Rizzo. A nice grab on the liner. And that gets them out of the inning. Could have been another run right there, but a nice play from Anthony Rizzo keeps it a 3-run game. So Familia into the game now. Give him a half inning. And now on to the bottom of the 9th, our last chance. We are going to pinch it with d'Arnaud to lead things off. And we will get Betances warming just in case we extend this ball game. 3-2 count to d'Arnaud. He works the leadoff walk, so he does his job. Now they're going to bring in Steve Cishek to face DJ LeMahieu, who has been hot as of late, and he's ahead in the count 2-0. He hits one. Oh, and it was caught by Cishek. They turn the double play, and that is a rally killer right there. Not that we had much of a rally going anyway, but anyway, Betts works the 2-out walk. Conforto up next. He hits one to left, and this should do it. Happ moving over. He makes the play, and the Cubs win Game 5. They have won back-to-back games, and they have retaken the series lead here, 3-2, a back-and-forth series. As you can see, the Cubs led 1-0, then we led 2-1, and now the Cubs lead 3-2. So if that trend continues, we would be looking at Game 7, and whoa, what is this? We've got an expansion draft. I did not hear about this. This looks like it's not for our league, so I think I can skip this. This is for whatever league. This must be some Japanese independent league that I am not. Yeah, it's an indie league. I think that's a Japanese indie league, so we can skip this. I don't think we have to care. I was like, what? Expansion in the middle of the playoffs? What are we doing? Gonna make this long-ass video even longer. And all right, here we go. Game number 6. We do have Syndergaard on the mound, so that gives us a chance against Darvish. So we have to like our chances here. We won this matchup the last time it happened. So, all right, we're going to go with same lineup. Move it around. How did Plawecki do? He went 0 for 4. So I think we're going to go back to d'Arnaud then. D'Arnaud did work that walk in the 9th inning. So, all right, that is our lineup. Cespedes coming back to earth a little bit, still dealing with that bruised thumb, but we're going to leave him in. And Syndergaard on the mound facing Darvish, so this is a must-win for us, obviously, in Chicago. And let's see how it goes. Last time we faced Darvish, we hit him around pretty well. Syndergaard, though, was not... Oh, no, actually, he pitched... I think he pitched pretty well in his last start. It was... Oh, that's going to be a 3-run home run. Yikes. Wilson Contreras really doing some damage this series. And he puts the Cubs ahead 3-0. Not a good start for Syndergaard, who did pitch well his last time out. But Darvish has set the first 9 guys down in order, it looks like. Syndergaard still settling in at least, but yeah, no hits and no walks so far for Darvish. And he is dealing so far tonight. This is not good. Cespedes now leading things off for us, and still I don't think we have a single hit, maybe not even a base runner. No walks and no hits for us through 5. Syndergaard is at 67 pitches, so we're going to leave him in. Can we please get a base runner? All right, looks like we got at least one base runner there, so no perfect game. Thank God. Could still get no hit maybe, I'm not sure. That is going to get Syndergaard out of the jam there. We head to the 7th, 9 outs left to score 3 runs or our season is over. We did get a hit, so no-hitter for Darvish, thank God. But we still, I don't think we've got a single guy in scoring position. Let's see. Actually, I'm not going to take the time to see what that hit was. On to the bottom of the 7th, Syndergaard at 92 pitches. So we're going to get Betances up, and we'll even get Blevins up too. And go till runners in scoring position. So he gets through that inning. And he's at 102 pitches, so that's going to be it for him. Only 3 strikeouts for Syndergaard. Not a great start out of him. Only 3 Ks, gave up 3 walks, and of course the 3 runs. Only 4 hits, though, so he did limit the damage after that first inning at least. But anyway, we are running out of chances here. Dominic Smith leading it off against Carl Edwards Jr. here in the top half of the 8th. He goes down swinging. Now Darno's turn. He flies one to left. That is going to be out number 2. It looks like nice diving grab from Ian Happ. Cabrera up next with 2 down. Hits one to the right side. Rizzo makes the play. And then it's going to be out number 3. So to the bottom of the 8th we go. We're going to go to Betances. He's still ready. I know it's a lefty leading off, but I'm just going to give Betances the full inning here. See what he can do. He gets the 1 lefty, Rizzo, so that's a good sign. And we'll just go to runners in scoring position, so no problems there for Betances. On to the 9th, 3 outs left to try and save our season. We'll get Familia warming up just in case something happens, and I think we're going to go with, let's see what Rosario does here first before we decide on who's going to be the pinch hitter. Rosario leading things off with a base knock into right field. He's going to stay at first. Nice play by Hayward to cut that ball off and get it in quickly. Rosario did not want to test it. So Edwards looks like he's still remaining on the mound. And we need a base runner here. So I think kind of a tough call between Flores and Frazier. But I'm going to go with Frazier. He a little bit more prone to work a walk, and Edwards has pretty shaky control. Even, well, they brought in Cishek, but even Cishek's control is not great. So you see he had over 4.5 walks per 9 during the regular season, so maybe he can work a walk here. And the count is 3-1. Let's see what happens. A walk would bring the tying run to the plate. He's swinging, and that is going to be, ooh, what was that? Oh my God, they really said he got the double play there. It didn't look like they got anyone. Wow. All right, well, I think that's pretty much going to do it for us. LeMahieu, he does get a base knock into center, keeping our hopes alive. Man, if he just hadn't turned the double play there, then we would have 2 on with 1 out. Instead, it's 1 on with 2 outs for Mookie Betts. Ahead in the count 2-1. Pops it up. This should do it. Rizzo getting under it, and the Chicago Cubs are going back to the World Series. They eliminate the Mets. They get revenge for 2015, and they are moving on to the to the World Series, I should say. They win 4-2. the series that is, and they win Game 6 3-0. 3 straight wins for the Cubs knocks us out there, and disappointing end to the season, but obviously, considering how the real-life Mets are doing, you have to call this year a success, winning 87 games. Certainly some stuff to build off of as we move into next season. Still could be a lot of moving parts, though. I mean, this roster is pretty old, and our farm system, we don't really have guys who are, kind of about to break through or anything, at least position player-wise. We do have guys like Justin Dunn and a couple starters who could maybe crack the big league roster next year, but in terms of position players, we really don't have much on the come-up, so it's going to be interesting to see what we do with this roster. I'm not really making any guarantees that we're going to keep everything together, but we did have a successful year. I mean, 87 wins, and we had a lot of guys who had good years. We have some building blocks as well, guys like Conforto, Betts, Rosario, maybe Dominic Smith. He'll probably be the first baseman, at least for next year, considering how he played this year, but his ratings don't really inspire a ton of confidence in me. But, he had a good season, and he played pretty well in the postseason, so I mean, I see no reason to really be quick to replace him unless, we have a really good opportunity to, like a stud first baseman comes on the market or something that we could get on a good contract. But, yeah, anyway, this is all conversation for the offseason video, so I'm going to leave it till then. That is going to do it. Hope you guys did enjoy. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'm out. Peace.